Polo Cup and Rookie Cup action is proudly brought to you by Astron Energy, Volkswagen Motorsport, and Dunlop Tires. Welcome to round 3 of Polo Cup and round 2 of the Rookie Cup. A big partisan crowd has joined us here in Quebec at Aldo Scrivanti, and it looks like it's pretty tight to the top end of the championship, Eddie.
Yeah, coming into this round, Greg, Giovanni leads by 1 point over Zare. This is going to be a tough round for them.
Very close racing expected. It's time to put those championship points back up onto the table with only a couple of points separating those top 5. Unfortunately, Giovanni Fiorotto got a terrible qualifying. He starts right at the back, and as the lights go out, we get going.
Ooh, look at that terrible start from Christopher Tate. That was horrible for him.
Tate bogged down on the line there, but look at the start from Josh Moore. Looks like he might get the whole shot from second place on the grid. He goes into turn 1 and leads ahead of Azir Khan.
Wow, that's amazing.
Good starters ahead into the S's as well. First time into the S's. Looks like there's a bit of a battle just in the background as well to watch out for.
Yeah, check out that fight for fourth between Luke Hill and Maru.
Maru is having a fantastic run. Much better run from him than we saw in Cape Town, but he's certainly getting to grips with these cars. Just in the background, though, you can see Josh is getting away, but 6, 7, and 8 is starting to heat up.
Yeah, I think that's Berlin, Luke Corbett, and Giovanni having a tough fight in the back, but that's not where Giovanni wants to be.
No, as a championship leader coming to this round, he definitely doesn't want to be back down in 7th place, fighting at the bottom end.
Yeah.
Here's a move into turn 1.
Ooh, that's Luke Hill up on the inside of turn 1 for third.
Brilliant stuff. Absolutely perfectly done there from Luke Hill up into the 3rd place. Looks like he might try and hang on to it through the S's. 1 and 2 have got away, so Azir Khan looks like he might take the championship lead here, but he's not going to get the win because Joshy's on a flyer. Oh!
That looks like that's Berlin. She locked up under her braking, it seems.
Yeah, there's a lot of wind blowing down that main straightaway, so it catches the cars out under braking. Here into Dunlop, though, no worries at all. And an early birthday present by the looks of things here for Josh Moore.
That's amazing. Seems like his mom's pretty happy.
You think so? I think she might be, with that scream. I think they heard her in PE. Brilliant stuff there from Josh Moore, taking the first victory.
Now let's check out our results. First place Josh Moore, second Azir Khan, and third Luke Hill. Let's catch up with our first race winner, Josh Moore.
Started from the front row in second, made my way to first by turn 1, and then just led the race from there. Was there, brought on the challenge a bit to the end, but yeah, it was a pretty solid race.
Looking forward to a second solid race now, adding a couple of changes to these cars. Data would have been downloaded. The coaches would have gone through where these guys got it wrong and where they got it right. Fiorotto has got some huge work to do.
Yeah, he's got a lot of catching up to do this round.
He finished second last in the first one, and a great start coming off the front end. Luke Hill on pole position, looking to capitalize. Somebody ran a little bit wide. Oh, second place is up for grabs here, big time.
That's Christopher Tate, Azir Khan, and Josh Moore all up on each other.
Look at that, Josh Moore in 4th place. He got whole shot in the first one, and of course he got the race win, so he's now fighting for 4th, 5th, and possibly 6th place because there are 4 cars.
And check out that lead from Luke Hill.
Luke Hill pulling away nicely, as you said, spot on. And look at that, right in 2nd place. Is that Tate up to 2nd? Yes, it is.
The pressure is on.
Azir Khan is 3rd, and now look at this, pushing hard in the background.
Ooh, eat dust.
Fiorotto, he's running a bit wide, trying to close that gap down. I think he's working to do exactly what we said. He's got to work hard to get to the front and maybe still have a chance of staying in the top 3 in the championship.
Seems like it.
A little bit in the background. Berlin out of shape there. Not quite what you wanted. She's had a tough day today, hasn't she?
She definitely has. Very tough day. She's been pushing really hard today.
Speaking of pushing hard, maybe a little bit too hard there from Giovanni. He's gone off track. That's going to put him right into the clutches there of Berlin as they get to the halfway point.
Yeah, that really isn't the nicest for him.
Top 3 into turn 1. No worries, no changes there. But here we go, a little bit further back. 6, 7, and 8. About to get real here down into turn 1.
Ooh, that's Berlin. Ooh,
how did Fiorotto miss her? Just by inches as they went into turn 1. That's not good.
Ooh,
and that's Luke Hill. That's Luke Hill. That's the leader.
That's the leader.
Let's have a look at that on the replay. As he came down there, you can see a little bit of a touch there between Azir and Luke. Luke goes wide. Christopher Tate's already got to the front end, so he's now leading, but well held there from Luke Hill to hang on for 3rd, possibly for 4th.
Yeah.
Coming to the line now. Is it going to be Chris Tate? It is. He's going to take the victory here, Eddie.
And there's the checkered flag.
Brilliant stuff. Tate taking the victory. Azir Khan coming through for 2nd, and Josh Moore hanging on to 3rd. That's going to move Tate and Moore up in the championship, but let's check out those results.
First place we have Christopher Tate, 2nd Azir Khan, and 3rd Josh Moore. Off we go to Christopher Tate's interview.
It's nice to be back in the front of the pack. Of course, being a VW Challenge Class C champion last year, winning most of the races there. I was a bit disappointed with the first few races of the season not being quite in the front, but I found my footing today and here we are.
Here are our championship points, with Azia leading on 35 points with Christopher Tate and Josh Moore, with only 1 point separating them, heading to Swap Corps for round 3.
Thanks, Eddie, for joining me there for Rookie Cup. Let's move on now to the Astron Energy Polo Cup. It's round 3 as we head to the home of Volkswagen Motorsport. It's pretty breezy out there, as you can see. That makes a little bit of a difference when it comes to the slipstream effect and also the braking down into turn 1. A lot of these cars will get caught up with the extra speed that gets given by this massive wind blowing down this main straightaway. Here we go straight into qualifying, and you see just how important it is to have a couple of teammates out there to possibly help you out with that slipstream effect. And also the Masters pushing hard to try and get through to the front end as well. At the end of qualifying, Mo Karodia is at the top, but Judd Berthold had a fantastic run there to finish up in second place, ahead of Hannes Schippers and Shren Rajpal. Roshan Goodman up in the top 6 along with Charles Smallberger, and those top 6 are going to shoot it out, of course, for what is going to be Super Pole. Fantastic effort from Wayne Masters. He finished up top of the Masters category, just outside the top 10 overall, ahead of John Kruger, and a great effort there from Mike Barbaglia to end third in the Masters category. Let's catch up now with front row man Judd Berthold in second.
I mean, it's almost like half a tenth, it's nothing. I just want to go give it my all and see what I can do.
Another Dunlop and ATS pole position there for Wayne Masters.
I was trying to catch the youngsters with their lap times, but it's a 10th here and there, so I'm about half a second off. But I'm still happy. It's a great lap. I think I've got good race pace because I managed to do 2:11.2s. So I think the pace is good for the race.
Now the top 6 head out for Super Pole, and that will set the grid for race number 1. A big push from Roshan Goodman. Good to see him up there once again. Charles Smallberger will be pushing hard. He had a fantastic lap. Just made a small mistake on his qualifying lap, so he'll look to rectify. And let's see what Hannes Schippers and Shren Rajpal can do as the checkered flag comes out. Top of the pops though, Mo Karodia for Lee Thompson Racing. Well done to him, getting the pole position award.
My first fly in actual quali, I messed up in the hairpin. So now I just kept it clean, no mistakes, and my time that I was supposed to do in quali, I did it in Super Bowl. So
it's time for Astron Energy Polo Cup action now at Aldo Scrivanti. We're in the Friendly City. Today it's the Windy City, living up to its other nickname, which is going to affect the cars a little bit as they head down the straightaways. They're going to have to be very, very wary of the early braking that's required with the additional pace coming from behind. But there has been great pace this weekend from every single one of these drivers. And the entire field is only split by a couple of seconds, which is fantastic to see. And there's definitely some major improvements happening amongst the rookies and even some of the masters that are joining this category for the very first time. We look forward to seeing them out on track now as they head in for race number 1. Mo Karodia looking to try and capitalise from that pole position now for Fast 5 and Lee Thompson Racing. It's go, go, go. Shren Rajpal will be pushing him hard though. There's no doubt about it that Trin has also found some seriously good pace in that car. And they've been working hard, both him and Hannes Schippers, and looking forward to a big battle. Getting off the line here, we're on board with Shren, and heading down towards turn 1 into second gear, trying to stay there with Charles Smallberger, who's alongside him. His teammate will come up on his left-hand side. You can see the two of them coming together there. The Works Motorsport boys going together. Masters start slightly back from the normal pack of cars, and it is Wayne Masters who gets the drop. Mike Barbaglia looks like he might get up to second place and ahead. Somebody's run wide coming out of turn 1, heading into the S's, and there's a big spinner in the background. It's one of the Team Red cars. I think it might possibly be Milan Emsley who's gone out of shape there. A little bit of wheels on the dirt there for Shren as well. What a start though. Look at this. One board here with Bevan Masters stuck in the thick of it. Just on the left-hand side there, you can see just how hard he's having to work to keep Berthold out. He's going to try and get him under brakes as they get to the hairpin and close right up onto the tailpiece of Rory Atkinson. Bevan Masters and Rory Atkinson have gone at it on numerous occasions in the past, but not in this category. This is the first time they've got up close and personal. That was Milan in the background, just getting confirmation of that shot. The Team Red man unfortunately out and spinning in the S's. Now we're going on board here with John Kruger, trying to close down here on Derek Smallberger, who's just up the road from him. Smallberger's looking up ahead and going, hang on a second, that's Mike Barbaglia ahead of me. And Masters is looking back and going, yes, it is. There's no doubt about it. Mike B has had a fantastic start there in the paybar car, and up into Dunlop, he sits in second place. That is brilliant stuff from him. It's his best start, and hopefully he stays right there for the rest of the race. Just behind that, it'll be Mussolini as they come across the line, completing the top 5 there in the Masters. And that is race 1 done. Ooh, that's Nirav Singh, the Kyle Army exhaust car off the circuit, and looks like he may have come together with Carl Fisser. Fisser's got some problems. He's stuck on the sideline. There's a very good possibility we'll have to watch out for that, but he's in quite a predicament there. I'm not quite sure if that's going to be safe enough for the COC. We'll wait and see. They're heading up towards Dunlop Corner. The pack of cars is absolutely lit, and they are going so well here. Further back in the pack there, Tyler Robinson. Now that is so far back there for our race winner from Kyalami. Something's gone wrong there with Tyler. She's definitely not enjoying life down in PE, the home of Volkswagen Motorsport. And there we see some pressure being put onto the payroll car. Mark Barbaglia, safety car is out. Confirmation of that there with that board. So the safety car will just concertina this field up. That's the reason for the safety car. The Team Red and Charles machine, unfortunately, on the sidelines. Let's have a look at it from Nirav Singh's point of view. He's heading down into turn number 1. He's got Smallberger. Oh, and here comes Carl Visser. Yeah, there we go. I thought so. A little tag between Visser and Nirav. He catches it, goes to second, goes to first. Carries on going and gets back on track. So well held there from the Kyalami exhaust man, but not quite so lacquer from the other side. As we saw, they parked on the sideline. Well, safety car is in. It's now Smallberger who leads out. He managed to squeeze through just before we went to that safety car scenario. And now Mocha Rodeo will look to try and get that back as soon as possible. It's line astern on the restart. You cannot pass the car in front of you until we've finished and gone over that start-finish line. And look at this. This is Mocha Rodeo losing a little bit of ground. Smallberger caught him out ever so slightly. Heading to turn 1, he's got a little bit of breathing room. And Carodio is having to go defensive because Dr. Hannes Skippers is on his tail. Roshan Goodman in there as well. And then it's Srin Rajpal, Judd Berthold, and Ethan Gutsia. We've got green flags for the Masters as well. They do the restart a little bit further back from that. And this time, Baglia gets caught out. Kruger's got through, and so has Smallberger. Derek Smallberger, that is, who squeezed out there. Lonica Martins fighting hard there with Bevan Masters. We're on board with Masters with Lonica Martins instead of him. This is fantastic effort here from Bevan Masters. He's in the thick of it for the very first time. He's a little bit out of it at Kyalami. He hasn't quite got to grips with the car, but he certainly has now, and he's now mixing it with the usual contenders. In the background, watching for Ethan Gutsia starting to squeeze through as well. That's not the start he wanted. He's a long way back, and considering he's right at the front end of this championship, that's not where he wants to be. He's putting the pressure on and looking to try and squeeze Bevan out here as they go into Chevy. As they come out of that one, it's the Lee Thompson man on the outside and the CPS warehouse car of Bevan Masters on the inside. Not where he needs to be. He knows the inside line is going to have the advantage, and Ethan Gutsia might be able to squeeze him out here. Although he's going to try and find some traction on the outside of Dunlop Corner. Didn't quite work out. Yeah, he runs a bit wide onto the giddy and onto that rumble strip, and he has to just tuck in behind Ethan Gutsia and follow him through. Brilliant start here. This is what Polo Cup is all about in its 29th year of running. And with the wind pumping here at the home of motorsport for Volkswagen, they are absolutely loving it. As you saw earlier on, there is a huge crowd here enjoying all this action. And Bevan Masters is in the thick of it again. Oh, Kutsia runs wide. Opens up the door, and sneaking through there is Tyler Robinson. She's going to have a chance now to squeeze ahead, and yes, she gets just ahead there of Ethan Gutsia, who runs Bevan Masters wide, coming out of the second S. A little bit wide there from the CPS warehouse car. He comes back onto track, and he's now going to fall into the clutches there. It looks like just ahead of the hard-charging Divya Naidu and then Ethan Gutsia. So there's just non-stop action here between these 5 cars. Absolutely brilliant. Divya Naidu into the mix there. The Production X car joining the party. As they come through Chevy, there's a little bit of a maneuver there as well. I can see just up the road there, a bit of chopping and changing between Rajpal and Judd Berthold. Just a little bit of swapping between those two numbers of the cars, and they are pushing hard. Milan Emzi seems to have recovered nicely. He's got back on track, but he's a little bit further back than what he'd like to be. And we'll wait for him to come back in race number 2. We're coming into the latter part of the race now. Somebody running completely off circuit. Was that Rory? I think it might have been. Rory Atkinson putting wheels on the dirt there. All 4 of them, in fact. Masters still leads out over Derek Smallberger and John Kruger for the Masters side of Polo Cup. And how far back is Barbaglia? There he is, and then Mussolini just behind that. And then look at that, Gavin Ross coming for the ride as well. Gavin Ross having a fantastic effort, coming straight across and into the 5th place. Now we're on board with Mocha Rodeo. Can he find a way through here on Charles? He goes wide into turn 1, watching for the cutback going into the S's at turn 2. He's going to look for that cutback. There it goes. Perfectly done. Oh, a little nudge. Is he going to squeeze him out? Yes, he gets through. Carodia takes the lead and gets ahead of Charles Smallberger, who gave him a little bit of room. I wouldn't open up the door that much, Ollie. You can't do that with Mo on your tail. He's going to make you pay. Now can Charles come back at him as they head up towards the hairpin, out of hanger. It's everything she's got through there in Apollo. Carodia goes defensive. He's got that inside line and the middle line covered, and there's no answer there from the Sabertech car in second. Charles Smallberger looks like he might have to settle for second place here. Roshan Goodman with a phenomenal effort there, still hanging on to 3rd place. He's got away now from Skippers and Rajpal for 4 and 5. And just in the background, Judd Berthold looking for a top 6 finish there for Volkswagen Motorsport. Back on board with the Sabertech man. This is Charles Smallberger heading to Dunlop. Closes the gap down, but is it enough? I don't think there's going to be enough there. It looks like this Lee Thompson Racing and Fast 5 car has got it all dialed in. He's looking for the perfect weekend. He got the qualifying. He got the Super Pole and he's now taken race 1 victory. Brilliant stuff from him. Mo Kurodia wins out over Smallberger, Roshan Goodman, Hannes Skippers and Shren Rajpal. In the Masters, another absolutely perfect performance from the Performance Masters car of Wayne Masters, getting away from all of his contenders and taking the victory yet again. He's a tough man to beat, and it looks like he wants that #1 plate for the Masters in 2025. He wins out and comes across the line there, beating out Derek Smallberger and John Kruger, with Mike Bobaglia in third. There's the official results. Brilliant stuff from Kurodia and Smallberger, beating out Roshan Goodman. And further back there, Wayne Masters wins out over Derek Smallberger, John Kruger and Mike Bobaglia for the Masters. Celebrations for the Kurodia family, and now let's catch up with race 1 winner Mo Kurodia.
He pulled out a gap before the safety car came out, and then closed in the gap. He was pulling away after the safety car went out again, but I managed to close that gap again towards the end of the race. Last 2 laps, I saw I was quite close to him. I saved the push to pass for the last lap. I used everything down the main straight, set the overtake up in turn 1 and stuck the overtake.
End of lap 1, I got a run on Mo out of the last corner. Managed to dive up the inside and I was leading. And actually, I did quite well in the beginning. I pulled a bit of a gap and the safety car came out. And yeah, towards the end of the race, Mo had more pace than me and he managed to undercut me into the first corner. And yeah, just a little bit of extra grip there, he got the move done and I had to settle for second. But yeah, good race, very tough.
Let's head down to Performance Masters and catch up with our usual contender at #1, Wayne Masters.
Had a good pull away. I saw Mark, he got past John, and I slowly edged away from Mark, and then I saw the safety car, and then I thought, oh, now we have to do that again. But luckily it was a running start. Caught them sleeping on the restart and won relatively easy. They didn't make it difficult for me at all.
Welcome back to Aldo Scribanti in Kwabacha for round 3 action of the Astron Energy Polo Cup. We had a fantastic first race there, really top action as per usual, and looking forward to more of the same now as we go into race number 2. Bevan Masters has shown massive improvements as we spoke about, but there's going to be some serious manoeuvring in that mid-pack because there's a lot of guys and girls who are trying to get up into that top 6, which is exactly where you want to be. Carl Visser with a bit of damage there. Let's see who's going to have it. Is it going to be Ethan Gutierrez? Is it going to be Tyler? Or is it possibly going to be Mo Kurodia? Those are all race winners from this season so far. Do we see a new race winner now in race number 2 here? Well, I'll tell you what, Judd Berthold certainly feels like he might be up for the challenge. Let's see what happens as the lights go out now down towards turn 1. It's a fantastic start from the inside line. That inside line is normally the great line to be on for the start, and Charles Smallberger is trying to capitalize on that, but it's Judd Berthold who was sitting on pole position. Kurodia is going to go with him into turn 1, and they're going to just squeeze Charles out as we go on board with John Kruger, who's going to be alongside Wayne Masters for the start here of the Masters category. Habot Car now trying to get through there for Team Red as he heads down towards turn 1. Can he outgun Masters on the drive? Not quite sure. You can see in the rearview mirror there, you can just see Masters sneaking up alongside him and puts it onto the inside line for the whole shot. So it's positions resumed basically, just with one change up. Kruger ahead of Smallberger. Smallberger not quite getting the start he wanted. How did Charles go? His is at 3rd place. So Charles Smallberger up to 3rd place there. That's exactly where he'd like to be, right behind Mo Kurodia. But Kurodia has snuck through up into 2nd place already in that first half a lap to get behind Berthold. Side by side, Roshan Goodman and Dr. Hannes Skippers. It's Rory Atkinson right on their tail, fighting for 5, 6, 7 and 8th place there as they come through. Brilliant action as always. And then just behind that, have a look at how fast those guys are coming through. You got Lonica Martins up into the top 8 for the first time here this weekend. She's battled a little bit this weekend, changing teams, but definitely on a run and looking for a chance to be in that top 6 hunt. We're on board with Ethan Gutierrez. He's had a slightly better start, but not going according to plan here for the man who was at the top end of this championship coming down to PE. He's tucked in here behind Milan Emsey, who's had a much better start, as you can see. On track this time and not sliding into the S's. Ethan Gutierrez is going to try and make a move on his inside. He gets up the inside there. He'll be on the outside for the left-hander, but does he get through? Oh, no, he doesn't. There's a touch there. Oh, no, it wasn't them, though. It was, I thought it was Milan Emsey coming together there, but it was actually the CPS warehouse of Bevan Masters. Came very up close and personal there, and you can see just how tight it was. Ethan Gutierrez now trying to find a way through. Fights his way through Hanger. Look at how that car has to get out of shape as he just clips that inside curb. Gutierrez under brakes now. Is he good enough to get on the inside of Bevan Masters? Bevan Masters is going to try and shut the door. Doesn't line through. Milan Emsey behind that, and Tyler Robertson just behind them. Tyler Robertson has had another nightmare start here. The race 1 winner from Kyalami is not enjoying life down here this weekend. Something not right with that AF Vans car. There's a move there. Possible little sneak on the inside. Do we see a push to pass maybe here from Mo? I think he might go for one to get the lead of this race. He's going to come alongside Judd Berthold as they cross the line. And if this was the final lap, he would have not made it. He just wasn't enough to get across there to take the lead, but he's now taken the lead down into turn 1. And he's got some room now to play. As they come down into turn 1, Smallberger tried to go with him. He's closed the gap down there under the slipstream effect. He's brought Srin Rajpal along for the ride as they head down towards the S's. Into the S's, it's Mo Karodia. He's absolutely pin perfect through there. A little bit wide from Berthold, but of course he's been here on a few occasions, having raced Rookie Cup here in the past. Now in a slightly more powerful Polo, and he's in the mix here with the usual contenders. Back on board with the dub core car here of Srin Rajpal. Once again, just showing you how difficult Hanger Sweep is. It looks easy, it looks smooth as silk when you drive from the outside, but they are fighting that car because it's starting to lose traction. The Dunlops are crying out for lack of traction, and as you can see there, Lonica Martins showing us just how difficult it is to then make the hairpin. She's got Rajpal. Oh no, she's got Divya Naidu on the outside. Naidu with a fantastic run in that Production X car, trying to find a way through there on Lonica, and I think he might have just been able to sneak through. Brilliant stuff. Oh, Lonica trying to come back at Dr. Hannes Skipper's now keeping out that man. That's not an easy car to beat. The Works Motorsport team have worked very hard to get him up to pace and on similar pace to what Rajpal's got. He's missed a gear though, by the looks of it. Ethan Kitsia is going to capitalise on that. Yes, indeed. He goes through there coming out of Dunlop, and the doctor makes a small mistake. Ethan goes through for Lee Thompson Racing. So there's non-stop action here in race number 2. Much better even than race 1. I thought race 1 was brilliant. Now we're getting even more action here for race number 2. Here comes the Doc, straight back at him. And he's got the inside line. Masters actually squeezed through there. So it looks like Hannes Skippers might have dropped a little bit further back than that. That is fantastic action. This is what we like to see. So Skippers fighting hard there with Lonica Martins, and Bevan Masters fighting with Ethan Sear. Behind them come Milan Emsey and Tyler Robinson. And in the background, just non-stop. That's what it's all about in Polo Cup. A little bit of rubber rubbing off the car there on one of those cars as they came under braking. Ethan Kitsia now has squeezed through on the 2 Team Red cars to make his way up slightly higher. But what's going to happen in this is going to drop him down pretty rapidly in the championship points. Having come into this championship round at the top end of the field, as I said, Ethan Kitsia has got a lot of work to do here. Oh, there's a touch. Skippers coming together with Lonica Martins in Dunlop, and both of them running wide. Lonica's gone the higher side and a long way around, and it looks like, is there some damage there maybe on the doctor's car? Dr. Hannes Skippers battling to get back onto the track. Maybe he's just stalled the car there, has to try and restart it as it's rolling onto from the dirty stuff back onto the tarmac. Let's have a look at that one more time. We're on board with Hannes as he heads up towards Dunlop. You can see he's going to go on the outside here of Lonica. Lonica comes across, he opens up the door. Well, Lonica moved across, so he had every right to have a look on the inside there, and you can see the disappointment and frustration. He's not happy about that. And Lonica went to go defensive, but remember, you're only allowed to make one move there. I'm not going to make the call on that. That can go to the COC, but yeah, big racing incident up into Dunlop Corner. Speaking of Dunlop Corner, well, the Masters category continues on their merry way with Wayne Masters, John Kruger, and by the looks of things, a nice move up there from Derek Smallberger. Mike Bogaglia might have squeezed up. There's a nice battle for third there in the Masters category. We're on board here with Charles Smallberger looking for a chance to be in that top 3. It might give him a second place overall if he stays where he is right now. Judd Berthold is just up the road from him, so he's got some work to try and catch Judd, but no one's going to catch Mo. Mo Karodia is on rails around this circuit here this weekend, and he's doing an absolutely amazing job. Looking for the perfect weekend. Remember, I mentioned it in race number 1. He got the Super Pole, he got the qualifying, he got fastest lap, and he's now going to look for race number 2 victory and the perfect weekend in PE. Karodia for Lee Thompson Racing in Fast 5, ahead of the Astron Energy Volkswagen Motorsport machine of Judd Berthold. That'll be his best finish ever as well in a Polo Cup race if it stays the way it is, and it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. They come onto that main straight away, and what a run from Mo Karodia. The perfect weekend is done and dusted, ahead of Judd Berthold and Charles Smallberger. Smallberger will probably get second overall. Oh, and a big change up here in the Masters. John Kruger has got through and bettered Wayne Masters here in race number 2. So to the line, it's going to be John Kruger, Wayne Masters, and Mike Bobaglia with his first podium of the season for Paybar. What a good drive there from him. Kruger's going to be happy with that. But I'm sure all 3 of them are going to be happy with the dice that they've had all weekend long. It's been top action once again from Astron Energy Polo Cup. Official results there for race number 2. It's Mo Karodia, Judd Berthold, Smallberger, Goodman, Atkinson and Rajpool, your top 6. And in the Masters, as I said, John Kruger beating out Wayne Masters, Mike Barbaglia, Derek Smallberger and Gavin Ross. Let's catch up now with our race 2 winners.
The first double win for first actually 4 ticks in the book. So pole for quali, pole for super pole, pole for race 1 and pole for race 2. So good achievement for me. I'm happy with myself.
Yeah, it felt good to beat him. I had a good start, but he had a better start, so I slotted him behind him and I put a bit of pressure on him as much as I could, and eventually he buckled under the pressure and fell off for turn 1, and that's where I got through.
Mo Karodia steps up to the top of the championship standings ahead of Ethan Garcia now by 23 points. Wayne Masters still hangs on ahead of John Kruger and Derek Smallberger. And we're looking forward to the next round at Swartkops on the 21st of June. All this action was proudly brought to you by Astron Energy, Volkswagen Motorsport and Dunlop Tires.